Did you know that your lifestyle can be the main cause of high blood pressure? A sedentary lifestyle, lack of movement, and inactivity are not just inconveniences, they are real threats to your health. Today, we'll talk about how ordinary habits can slowly lead to high blood pressure and what to do about it. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss important health tips. Let's do this together, step by step, towards better well-being. You may not realize that every morning you influence your blood pressure. Yes, even at breakfast. Did you drink coffee with sugar and milk? Have you started eating sandwiches with sausage? These foods are full of hidden enemies. Many of us don't notice how ordinary foods impact our health daily. Even a small spoonful of salt added to soup or a serving of chips eaten on the go can lead to long-term pressure problems. Think about what you eat every day. It's not just a habit, it's the first reason your blood pressure could be above normal. And you know what's the worst part? It's a silent threat that doesn't show up immediately. But over the years, it can lead to serious consequences. Salt is the main enemy for your blood pressure. But why? Let's break it down. When we talk about salt, most of us think of regular table salt. But in most products, there's much more of it than we realize. For example, in sauces, ready-made soups, even bread or cheese. And what's even more insidious is that you don't even notice how much of it is actually in your diet. Ask yourself, how many times a day do you add salt to your food? Now think about how many hidden sources of salt are present in your diet without your knowledge. Even if you don't add salt to your food, it can still be overloaded with salt, making it one of the main factors raising your blood pressure. Let's imagine for a second. You eat salty foods every day but feel nothing unusual. Then, after months or years, your blood pressure rises, and you don't understand where it came from. Never thought your favorite sausage or a can of canned food could cause hypertension. Processed foods are another hidden source you can't control. Sausages, hot dogs, ready-made meals, and even frozen foods. These often contain not only salt, but also artificial additives and preservatives. And here's why it's important. In most cases, we don't notice how our blood starts to react to these substances. Often, manufacturers hide the amount of salt and additives in their ingredients so as not to scare consumers. For example, one serving of a ready-made dish can contain half of the daily recommended salt intake, not to mention harmful chemicals. Think about how many times you've chosen frozen meals or convenience foods without considering the consequences. This not only deprives you of proper nutrition, but also undermines your health. What else is hidden in the foods we eat every day? The second danger is not just salt, but chemical additives, colorants, stabilizers, and flavor enhancers. These substances don't affect our bodies immediately, but over time they can have a destructive impact on the vascular system, causing increased blood pressure. What happens when you frequently eat such foods? Your blood vessels become less elastic, circulation worsens, and your heart has to work harder to pump blood through the narrowed vessels, and the result is higher blood pressure. But many of us don't even realize that a serving of sausage or canned food can trigger a spike in blood pressure within hours. Now that you understand that hidden additives and poor nutrition can raise blood pressure, it's time to take action. To avoid this, you should minimize the consumption of processed foods and focus on natural products. Fresh fruits, vegetables, lean meats, and fish. It's also worth starting to control the amount of salt and sugar in your diet. Read the ingredient list and avoid buying foods with added chemicals. Have you thought about the fact that you can not only control your diet, but also improve vascular health with the right foods? It's simple. Replace some of your usual foods with healthier ones, and you'll see the results. Perhaps you thought changing your diet was difficult, but in reality, it's easier than it seems. Start with small steps. Reduce your salt intake, add more fresh fruits and vegetables to your diet, avoid processed foods, and try to eat homemade meals. After a couple of weeks, you'll notice how your blood pressure gradually returns to normal. And the most important thing, you are not alone. Together with proper nutrition and an active lifestyle, you can significantly improve your well-being and restore your vascular health. Your life is in your hands. Have you ever thought that even the smallest stressful situations can raise your blood pressure? We all face stress, at work, at home, on social media. But what if I told you that the most insidious stress is the one you don't even realize? It's not the stress when you're nervous before an important event, and it's not when a meeting gets cancelled. It's chronic worry and anxiety that we experience every day without even noticing it. Constant worries about money, health, the future, minor everyday inconveniences. This all accumulates and reflects in your body. This type of stress is much more dangerous for your health than brief moments of nervousness. It's the constant buzz in the background of your consciousness that affects your blood pressure and raises it, even if you don't feel it. Have you ever felt your heart start racing and your breath become shallow when thinking about the future or something unpleasant? That's hidden stress. When you're constantly worried, even on a subconscious level, your body reacts by releasing stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. These hormones keep your body in battle-ready mode, even when everything seems calm externally. What happens in the body? Blood vessels constrict, heart rate increases, and as a result, blood pressure rises. And gradually, you start to notice that your blood pressure isn't returning to normal, but instead, it continues to rise. Have you ever thought about how much anxiety accumulates in your subconscious, working against your health every day? These anxieties are the hidden stress that silently causes blood pressure problems. Did you know that your body can signal stress even if you don't realize you're under pressure? Many of us are so accustomed to feeling constant tension that we don't notice how it impacts our health. For example, you may notice a headache, insomnia, irritability, or even back pain. And all of these could be symptoms of chronic stress. But the scariest part is that you don't associate these symptoms with blood pressure and don't realize they're affecting it. Do you notice how often you feel out of breath, how your shoulders tense up, or how hard it is to fall asleep because of constant thoughts? These symptoms may be signs that your blood pressure is rising and that you need to eliminate hidden stress to prevent more serious problems. But what if stress isn't just the worries you feel at home or in your personal life? It's also the stress we experience every day at work, in everyday tasks, and even on social media. Information overload, constant tasks, deadlines, dissatisfaction at work. This can all cause stress that becomes chronic. Work stress doesn't end when you leave the office. It continues to haunt you in the form of unfinished tasks, unmet deadlines, and criticism. Have you thought about how constant time pressure, unrealistic expectations, and the rush could raise your blood pressure? These things become part of your psycho-emotional background, gradually increasing your stress levels and, as a result, your blood pressure. With each stress, your heart works faster and blood vessels constrict, restricting blood flow. And here's where the chain reaction starts. Each stress, no matter how small, triggers a release of hormones that make blood flow faster while the vessels constrict. Your cardiovascular system begins working at a higher rate, and blood pressure doesn't just rise, it stays high even when you calm down. But the scariest part is that you may get used to this state without realizing that chronic stress is literally devouring your health. And if nothing changes, over the years your blood pressure could become catastrophically high. But what can be done to deal with this hidden stress that raises your blood pressure? The first step is to realize that you are constantly under stress. This may not be as obvious as a sudden burst of irritation, but it is just as important. Gradually learn to make time for yourself, to relax and restore your inner balance. Incorporate relaxation techniques into your life, meditation, yoga, or deep breathing. It's also important to take regular breaks to rest, take time off from work and social media. If you can't get rid of stress at work, try to find ways to reduce the workload or improve relationships with colleagues. Maybe it's time to try new habits that help relieve tension and restore normal blood pressure. Start small, and you will feel how your well-being gradually changes. Interestingly, stress can not only be avoided but also used to benefit your body. This takes practice, but it's possible. Some people teach their bodies not to react to stress, but to use it as a source of energy for productive work or physical activity. The principle is to recognize stressful situations and direct their energy in the right direction, such as in sports. Perhaps this is exactly what you need. With the right techniques and emotional control, stress can be turned into a driving force to maintain health and normalize blood pressure. Have you ever thought about how hormones affect your blood pressure? You may not have paid attention, but hormones are not just substances that regulate your mood. They are also key players in how your heart and blood vessels function. When we talk about hormones, the first thing that comes to mind is reproductive health, but they affect much more than that. For example, in women, during or after menopause, the levels of estrogen and progesterone drastically decrease, which has a huge impact on the blood vessels. They lose their elasticity, become stiffer, and as a result, blood pressure starts to rise. What about men? As men age, their testosterone levels also decrease, which can lead to a loss of vascular flexibility and deterioration of cardiovascular function. As a result, blood pressure can rise, but we often don't connect this with hormonal changes. Have you ever wondered why women are more likely to suffer from hypertension after menopause? It's all about the hormone estrogen. Estrogen is not only the hormone that helps a woman maintain femininity, but also an important protector of her blood vessels. During reproductive years, estrogen helps dilate blood vessels, improving blood circulation and reducing the risk of high blood pressure. But when its levels drop, blood vessels start to constrict, and blood pressure rises. Have you noticed how your well-being changes with age? It may be related to the fact that estrogen levels begin to decrease, and your blood pressure gradually rises without giving you obvious signs of illness. How can you fight this? There are ways to maintain normal estrogen levels in the body with proper nutrition and exercise, but we'll talk more about that later. But men are not immune to hormonal changes either. As they age, testosterone levels also drop, and this can have unexpected consequences for blood pressure. Testosterone, like estrogen, plays an important role in maintaining the health of blood vessels. It helps maintain vascular elasticity and prevents their narrowing. When its levels decrease, it can lead to poor circulation and increased blood pressure. Have you thought that this might be the cause of the problems you're experiencing with age? High blood pressure may not only be the result of poor diet or stress, but also a consequence of hormonal changes. And the most important thing is that this can be worked on. Menopause is not just a transitional phase in a woman's life. It's a period when hormonal changes can literally alter your body and its response to external factors. After menopause, women experience a sharp decrease in estrogen levels, which affects the blood vessels and can lead to an increase in blood pressure. This is exactly when women start noticing that their blood pressure rises, and a simple cold or emotional stress starts to cause unpleasant symptoms. Have you ever felt that your blood pressure fluctuates depending on your emotional state or the weather? This could be because hormones no longer perform their role in protecting the blood vessels, and now you have to pay closer attention to the health of your vessels. Perhaps you don't associate high blood pressure with hormonal changes, but there are several obvious signs that will tell you that something is wrong. Here are some symptoms to pay attention to. Frequent hot flashes, sweating, and sudden changes in body temperature. Sleep disturbances and insomnia, which become common companions with age. Anxiety and depression, which can be related to hormonal changes. Sudden spikes in blood pressure, especially in response to stress or physical exertion. If you notice these symptoms, it might be time to pay attention to the hormonal balance in your body. After all, Blood pressure is not only a result of poor diet or stress, but also a result of internal changes happening year by year. Do you have problems with your thyroid? You might not even realize that hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism can be the cause of high blood pressure. The thyroid regulates metabolism and affects many functions in the body. When it isn't working properly, it can cause problems with blood pressure. For example, hypothyroidism, a deficiency of thyroid hormones, can lead to high blood pressure, while hyperthyroidism, excessive production of hormones, can cause tachycardia and high blood pressure due to overloading the cardiovascular system. Have you noticed that your blood pressure changes with fluctuations in energy levels, mood, or pulse? Perhaps it's worth getting an examination to rule out thyroid diseases that could be the cause of your high blood pressure. Now that you understand how hormones can influence your blood pressure, it's important to learn how to control this process. Healthy eating. Enrich your diet with foods that support hormonal balance, such as omega-3 fatty acids, B vitamins, magnesium, and antioxidants. Physical activity. Moderate exercise can help normalize hormone levels, improve blood circulation, and maintain normal blood pressure. Stress management. Yoga, meditation, and breathing exercises not only reduce stress but also influence hormone balance. Consultations with a doctor. Be sure to have regular checkups and consult an endocrinologist if you notice changes in your body. Now you understand how hormones can affect your blood pressure and what to do about it. But this is not the last reason. You may not even realize how harmful a sedentary lifestyle is to your health. But how is this related to blood pressure? Let's break it down. The modern world is increasingly promoting sedentary jobs. We spend hours behind computers, in cars, or on the couch. During all this time, our bodies don't get the necessary physical activity. When you don't move, blood doesn't circulate as effectively as it should. This leads to your blood vessels becoming less elastic, and the heart starts working under increased load. The result? Increased blood pressure. A sedentary lifestyle is not just an inconvenience, it's a real threat to your health. Think about how much time you spend sitting each day, and during all this time you are setting up conditions for increased blood pressure without even noticing. Now, let's talk about how a sedentary lifestyle disrupts the function of your body. When you don't move, your blood vessels lose their elasticity, causing them to narrow. This makes blood circulation less effective. In response, your heart begins to work harder to pump blood through the narrowed vessels. And here's what happens. The heart beats faster, and blood pressure rises. Do you notice how often you feel tired, even after minimal physical exertion? This may be the result of your heart not being used to working at a normal pace due to a lack of physical activity. And the longer you ignore this problem, the harder it will be to return your health to normal. What if I told you that even small changes in your activity can significantly improve your blood pressure? You don't have to become a professional athlete to see improvements. Research shows that even 20-30 minutes of moderate physical activity per day can lower blood pressure and improve heart function. For example, a simple walk outdoors, light exercises, or stretching can be your first steps toward normalizing blood pressure. Have you thought about how much time you could dedicate each day to improving your health? It's only half an hour, which can change your well-being and help normalize your blood pressure. And don't expect it to happen immediately. The effect will accumulate day by day. Let's look at physical activity from another angle. It's not just a way to normalize blood pressure, but also a primary way to maintain the health of your entire body. When you exercise, you're not only training your heart and blood vessels, but also improving metabolism, boosting your immune system, and slowing down the aging process. Regular physical activity helps normalize blood sugar levels, maintain cholesterol levels, and even influence hormone balance. When was the last time you felt your body getting stronger and healthier? Regular workouts provide not only physical but also emotional rewards, improving your mood and reducing stress levels. This literally changes your life. You may be surprised, but physical activity is one of the most powerful ways to combat chronic stress, which, as we know, contributes to high blood pressure. When you exercise, your body produces endorphins, the happiness hormones that help relieve stress and relax. It's a kind of natural antidepressant that reduces anxiety and depression levels and helps you cope with problems that can cause blood pressure spikes. Have you ever noticed how your mood improves after a workout? That's because physical activity helps neutralize negative emotions and break the vicious cycle of stress that can lead to high blood pressure. If you still don't know where to start, don't worry. Small steps can lead to big results. The first thing to do is not set unrealistic goals right away. Start small. If you mostly sit, make it a rule to get up every 30-60 minutes and take a short walk. Try including at least 10-15 minutes of exercise every day. That's already a good start. What simple steps can you take to move more? Perhaps it will be morning exercises or an evening walk, or even taking the stairs instead of the elevator. These small changes can significantly impact your health and blood pressure. How to find the strength and motivation to keep going, especially if you're just starting. Motivation is key, but it's important not to set unrealistic goals. Set small, achievable goals. For example, I will walk for 10 minutes a day for a week, or I will do exercises every day. Each day you will notice improvements, and this will motivate you to continue. Remember, even the smallest steps can lead to significant changes. The sooner you start, the sooner you will feel the results. The most important thing is not to stop and not be afraid to start small. Now that you've started being physically active, it's time to think about how to diversify it to make the process more fun and effective. Include cardio workouts, strength training, and stretching in your activity. Try different sports, running, swimming, cycling, dancing. This will help not only improve your physical form, but also keep you from getting bored. Incorporating a variety of exercises into your daily routine will help you achieve better results and normalize your blood pressure faster. Be open to new opportunities and enjoy every step on the path to health. Now you understand how a sedentary lifestyle can increase your blood pressure, and that physical activity is not just a way to improve your figure, but also an important component of normalizing blood pressure and overall health. Take the first steps toward a more active life today. Change your habits, and you will notice how your well-being and blood pressure begin to normalize. Now you know about 4 causes of high blood pressure that can go unnoticed but have a huge impact on your health. Start monitoring your diet, reduce stress, control hormonal changes, and move more, and your blood pressure will stay normal. Remember, health is a daily concern. Stay with us, and we will tell you how to maintain the health of your heart and blood vessels at any age.